Rising with each beat of the music is bringing. We're flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're inviting the night in.
Tactical nuke incoming!
How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast back with another video, and with this one we'll be responding to somebody who has kind of kept his head down, kind of been huddled in his own little cave for quite a while, especially when it comes to the quote-unquote radical dog-hating cult. And that person goes under the title, I Hate Dogs. Now, I know it sounds like I'm making a joke where I claim that the some of the dog haters are in a quote-unquote radical cult, but in some sense, a lot of people take this guy's word, as well as canine aversion or defenders of humanity, the word that they speak through their videos, very highly. In fact, if anything, I would classify I Hate Dogs to be kind of like Charles Manson to the dog-hating community. Next thing you know, per, the great I Hate Dogs, he tells everybody to drink the Kool-Aid so that that way they can pass on to the great beyond. But let's be honest here. I Hate Dogs is nothing more than a man, a false prophet. Somebody who, especially with people who suffer from a particular phobia, waltzes around like a snake oil salesman, giving out false promises as well as giving false information and dogma to basically stir people up and try to get them to rally in his defense. Now, I got a video here to respond to for this video, which is dog attacks in 2021, and we'll be responding to it. So I'm just gonna say this will be weird because we haven't done this in a long time. I think the last time I responded to this individual was around the same time, or at least a little bit before. Sorry, a little bit before my old channel was destroyed. So without further delay, why don't we go ahead and get started on this. Also, quick note, so you guys know, I had to skip a little bit ahead with his video, because for the first part, it's basically showing highlights of a variety of different dog attacks, and some of it graphic, as well as it's used to try to, I guess, in a negative light, just try to rally people up even more. So yeah, that won't be used, as well as the video itself that he has posted. The video itself will not be shown. You'll see my usual fair use image, as well as, it just being the audio. So again, without further delay, why don't we go ahead and get started on this.
So, it is New Year's Day. And one thing we know for sure, in 2021, certain things are not going to change. What do we know is going to continue into 2021? We know for a fact that there will be millions of people bitten.
So not to try to downplay, people getting bitten, but the key word bitten, I have to ask, is that millions killed by dogs? Because I'm sure the way you're going to probably put it is millions are killed by dogs per year, which that won't be the case, and I'll explain in just a second. If you're going to continue the way I think you're going to continue.
By dogs. We know for a fact over half will be children. under the age of 13.
Now, again, not trying to sound like I'm downplaying, people getting bit by dogs, but looking at the AVMA, which is the American Veterinarian Medical Association, more than 4.5 million people are bitten by dogs each year in the United States. More than 800,000 receive medical attention for dog bites, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, which is CDC. At least half of those bitten are children. And in case people want more facts too, that's almost 1 in 5 people bitten by dogs require medical attention. So the mass majority of them that get bitten, the other 4 don't need to receive medical attention. Unfortunately, children are the most common when it comes to suffering from dog bites or severe injury from dog bites. And most dog bites affecting young children occur during everyday activities while interacting with familiar dogs. Now, I should point out that any dog can bite, big or small, male or female, young or old, even whether it be, the fluffiest or, the sweetest dog. But just so we're clear, because this is something that I Hate Dogs fails to mention to, the communities that he rallies for. A dog does not bite because of its breed. The reason a dog bites is determined by its individual history or behavior. And something that just so we're clear, the thing that I Hate Dogs doesn't talk about as well, because it doesn't fit his narrative, is the fact that dog bites are preventable. And that there are ways to prevent dog bites. And I'll leave a link for the AVMA, so you guys can look at that too, which shows a good system on how to prevent dog bites, as well as look at body language to determine whether or not a dog will attack you. Which, by the way, just so you guys are clear, there are reasons for a dog to, bite somebody. But, again, I Hate Dogs fails to mention that.
No matter how much training goes on in this country, this is going to happen. And we know for a fact that nothing will be done to stop them. No preventative measures will be taken to prevent dog attacks.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
From happening. This happens every single year.
You're right. Something like that does happen every year. But you want to know what else happens every year? Neglectful parents leaving their kids in a hot car to go into the store. Men and women stabbing their neighbors for petty bullshit. People being reckless in their vehicles. Drunk driving. Drug use. Mass shootings. A variety of different human atrocities also happen every year. And just like dog bites, there's ways to prevent those type of scenarios.
Dog lovers will continue to glorify these ugly, grotesque mutants and shove them into your face and tell you that these ugly beasts are actually adorable.
So I can only guess he's referring to either people posting pictures of their animals or showing videos of their dogs or a variety of different things that, as an individual who more than likely fears dogs, you can always avoid. If you see a post about a dog, don't click on it. It's that simple. And honestly, doing something like that is a lot more rational than this hypocritical and grotesque fear-mongering.
Right? They're going to continue to allow their mutants to terrorize communities.
You serious?
People will be denied true freedom. I cannot count how many comments I've read, how many people have told me that they don't jog anymore in their communities, that they don't even like to go for walks in their communities. That is true terrorism.
So, I hate to be that guy, but I'm kind of wondering if the comments where people talk about their fear of dogs and fear of not being able to jog in their communities, I'm using quotes by the way, is only half of the comments, and there are other people on the other side commenting about their interactions with dogs, but more likely, because it doesn't fit I hate dogs' narrative, will more likely delete or hide those comments to continue the cycle of fear-mongering, the irresponsible fear-mongering from this individual.
When you cannot even enjoy basic freedom. And these people will continue to respond to dog attacks as if dog attacks are some natural phenomenon that cannot be stopped.
So, just so you are aware, dogs bite for a variety of different reasons. Sometimes, most commonly, as a reaction to something. If a dog, like let's say for instance, if a dog finds itself in a stressful situation, it may bite to defend itself or its territory. Dogs can bite because they are scared or have been startled. They can bite because they feel threatened. They can bite to protect something that is valuable to them, like their puppies, food, or let's say their doggy toy. Dogs may even bite because they're not feeling well. It could be because whether they're sick or due to an injury or illness that they have, or if anything, just to be left alone. Dogs also might nip or bite during play. Even though nipping during play might be fun for a dog, it is dangerous for people, or can be dangerous for people. Which is why, when it comes down to, dogs being trained, they can train, or at least be trained, to have those habits kind of altered. So, by the way, because this person's been kind of pushing the narrative that it can't be prevented, yes, it can. And just so people know, it's a good idea to avoid wrestling or playing tug-of-war with a dog, because these type of activities can make your dog overly excited, which will or may lead to a nip or bite. But like I said before, and I can't stress this enough, like anything that humans do to each other, or other animals do to humans, or animals do to each other, it's preventable. And there are reasons that the dog or the animal or the person is doing what they're doing. For a dog, there are various reasons why they are doing or causing a bite towards an individual. And there are ways to prevent dogs from biting people. But again, this I hate dogs individual, being the dishonest cur that he is, isn't going to tell you that. But I can't stress this enough too, because I have to mention this every time I talk about this topic. I understand that there are people that are afraid of dogs. I do. I myself would probably never understand that because, lo and behold, I have two of my own, as you guys could see in the beginning of each video. And by the way, I know somebody like him will claim that I know nothing, even though, surprise, surprise, I have the particular animal that he claims he knows all about. So I have some knowledge of how to deal with my animals. But in the end, I understand that people suffer from the phobias where they fear dogs. But I feel it is irresponsible, unethical, and completely dishonest to spew the rhetoric and dishonest information that people like I Hate Dogs, Defenders of Humanity, aka Canine Aversion, and the variety of other radical dog hater cult members like to spew in their content. Because it doesn't help the situation whatsoever.
So they will continue to give dogs every opportunity possible to attack you, to attack their own offspring and family. So a criminal lifestyle that is embraced by these dog nuts will continue. It does not matter if you are talking about slave owners, lynch mobs, gangbangers, serial killers, or dog owners. These are all groups of people who have a low value for human life.
You know, I think it's rather hilarious that you want to try to put dog owners to the same vein as people who were slave owners, part of lynch mobs, gangbangers, etc. But in reality, the real people who, to use your words, have a low value for human life are you and the variety of other people that spew radical and dishonest views. Especially since, again, when it comes down to the dogs that you claim to know all about, there are ways to prevent some of the behaviors when it comes to dog attacks. But you, unfortunately, being the dishonest individual that you are, aren't going to discuss it. Because you'd rather just build up the fear-mongering and continue to spew fear in the hearts of the people that already are afraid of dogs, that don't and more likely would not be able to understand how to deal with them and have no knowledge or experience with these animals.
And they are all bona fide criminals.
I smell job. You're ugly.
Who endanger not only themselves, but their immediate family and everyone in the community. These people will continue to suggest that the presence of dogs is somehow a privilege, a blessing for you.
So, you guys can't see it, but he's using a meme or a image, like an inspirational picture. And I just gotta say, you gotta love the, just the low integrity of this individual to try to use a image. You know, it's a simple image, an inspirational picture that could be anything, to try to use that as the basis for his argument of us claiming that, you know, dogs are a privilege or a blessing. Like, it's the end-all, be-all. You are out of your mind. Truly.
That you should be happy that you have the opportunity to allow these smelly, nasty things into your home. You should feel privileged for the opportunity to waste money buying dog food for them, to allow them to leech off of you and your resources, all in return for what? So that they can lick your face, which is begging for food, and you can pretend as if this is dog kisses. I watched several videos today, and I became infuriated, as always.
So there's your problem right there. I mean, you're just kind of proving my point. If you know something that you don't like, then why push yourself to indulge in it? Does that make any sense? If there's a video that you don't like that is shared or anything, why are you clicking on it? It makes no sense to expose yourself the way you are, as well as trying to, claim this dishonest knowledge that you spew out for these videos.
Over the number of idiots I saw in the comment section of videos where dogs are licking people in the face, and they are describing the dog as loving and giving kisses to these people. These dog owners are some of the most ignorant people walking this planet.
I would say the same thing for individuals like yourself that want to, commit to fear-mongering, riling up people who are already afraid of dogs. And if anything, showing no journalistic integrity on what you say or do.
And that's one reason I reiterate the fact that these things are begging for food when they lick your face. They are not emotional creatures. They are not loving creatures. They are nothing more than a collection of neurons firing away. No feelings whatsoever. And I've provided more than enough proof to sustain that position.
I'm sorry, but I hate to be an ass, but what proof exactly? I mean, so far you've been rambling on. So far with my video, especially with some of the things about why dogs bite, I've shown or at least expressed a link or where you could possibly find information, which the link will also be in the description for this video. But let's look at something of why dogs lick people's faces. Looking at petmd.com, reading some of the information, the common dog face licking behavior has evolved from wolf puppy behavior of licking the mouths of adult dogs to prompt the regurgitation of partially digested food. This is how puppies transition from suckling their mother's milk to eating partially digested food to more solid food. Licking other dogs' faces or humans' faces is a normal social behavior. By the way, social behavior. He makes it sound like it's just for, because they want food. Licking can be an appeasement gesture that signals a dog's social difference. It can also be a signal for or to solicit food. So you're partially right. More social information, a sign of affection, or to solicit attention. So this whole thing where he's claiming it's only for food, again, I hate to tell him he's right, but he's partially right. Unfortunately, as he's been doing for the entirety of the video, he hasn't been completely honest. So when it comes down to your, or at least you discussing this topic, I would probably suggest that you be a little bit more honest and give the information so that way people can have a better understanding when it comes to the topic that you're discussing.
As a fact, and I invite anyone, professional or not, I prefer professionals. I really don't want to waste time arguing with idiots, these low IQ dog nuts.
Let me give you a quick translation of what he just meant. He'd rather, not have to deal with somebody like myself giving our response and calling him out for the fucking liar that he is.
But these people behave. They entertain or embrace lifestyles that are primitive. And they behave like subhuman savages with no value for life.
Again, this is coming from the individual who is spreading misinformation and has no journalistic integrity, giving false information to a community that already is afraid of dogs. Which, by the way, in the end, due to his misinformation when it comes to the topic that he discusses, will probably end up having to pay when people have no understanding of how to deal with dogs and the proper way of interacting with them.
てめえのつけば金では払えねえぜ。つけの領収書だぜ。
Gosh, I love JoJo Bizarre Adventure. They have a lot of good clips that you can use for videos. But anyway, that was my response to I Hate Dogs, or at least the dishonest individual known as I Hate Dogs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed what I've had to say, especially when it comes to my rebuttals towards him. If you guys have anything you would like to add, leave in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links in the description down below. Check out our Discord if you guys want to, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.